of disappointing you guys. Specifically, I remember one time I had a party at our house when you guys were gone somewhere.
The mud bog.
Yeah. And my friends decided that it would be a good idea that they would turn our backfield into a mud bog all night and spin cookies out there all night. Literally, it's probably a half-acre field. Turn it into 100% mud and spray that mud all over our house, in addition to leaving all the beer cans and cigarette butts and whatever other gross shit. And then I remember I woke up the next morning in a drunken stupor, and I looked around and I'm like, shit, I better get out of here. And I remember I went over to my friend Brian's house, and I kind of just tried to suppress the whole situation. And you called his house and you said, get your ass home right now. I remember. And I was scared shitless.
Oh, boy.
And I pulled in the driveway, and I got out of my truck, and you got in my face and let me have it. And that was one of many times I have disappointed you in my life, but I remember that vividly, and I'm sorry for that. But, I was a young, stupid, rural kid trying to find my way. And I'm not proud of those days, but, they happened.
Yeah, that was, I'm not sure all what went on at that party, but it looked like somebody had marched herds of elk entirely through my house with mud all over their feet. And you guys had already cleaned up a bunch. You told me we cleaned up, and Mom and I opened up the door, and that house, it was just full of muddy footprints. Somebody fell through our roof, and because that was the stadium. All the guys were up on the roof, jumping up and down when they were mud bogging and cheering. And it must have been quite a party.
I do remember telling you that we cleaned up. The problem is my friends love them to death, but they would wake up in the morning and leave me with all the mess. And that was actually, I think that was one of the last parties I threw at our house. That was when I'd finally I'd had it. I'm like, you know what, guys, if you want to do that, do it somewhere else, because I just got my ass kicked.
Because we let all of you kids, knowing kids are kids, and we let all of you kids, we would much rather have had you at our house being stupid than out on the highway being stupid. So we let you do that. We would put you out in the other part of the house and let you do your thing. So that's just what we decided was the way we wanted to bring you up.
It was different. It was different times. You can't do that these days.
No.
And yeah, but I mean, I think, Luke and Blake and I, we turned out all right, and we're appreciative of the way you guys raised us. And, there was definitely a lot of highs and lows. I remember times when you guys didn't have I remember times when you had a lot of money to me, and I remember times when you guys didn't have any money. I remember the time when you had to buy a $500 van that I would classify as a rapist van. And drive it for like a half a year, take me to school in it and everything. And I remember times when we were going to Hawaii, and living the high life. And I think you managed it really. I'm really impressed with the way you managed the stress of that. Now that I'm an adult and I know how stressful like being responsible for a family is.
Well, life takes so many ups and downs and turns and stuff. And the period of time that you're talking about was a real growing time for us, because I lost two sisters in a period of 2 or 3 years, had that financial thing that we talked about earlier with the 16A elk, just several things that all kind of snowballed there together. And I kind of lost, good thing I'm a huge optimist, because I kind of lost desire, not to live. I mean, I wanted to live, but I just lost desire. I didn't have a lot of enthusiasm, particularly after my younger sister got killed in the wreck up in the pass. It just really deflated me for a few years, and counseling helped, but it took a while to work through that. So there were some times there when it was pretty lean, but got through it, worked through it, and learned a lot from it, and trudged on. Yeah, you're right. I didn't pay $500 for that van. I paid $5 for it.
Oh, well, I'm glad you had wheels, but I don't think that van was worth $5. It literally had like one window and like carpet on the inside and smelled like pot. So, but